Hello, this is your Finna nurse and health coach, and I'm coming to you today on two processes that food processing go through. The first one is mechanical processing, and mechanical processing involves machinery. Extrusion is one way of mechanical processing, where they go and they push out materials in the food into a machine and like a cross section, they call it, of metals, and they use metals involved in it. And that's why sometimes you see on your nuts like this these nuts are made from machineries that have used peanuts and uh, wheat, gluten products that let you know if you got gluten problems, digestion problems. You shouldn't be eating it because they have used the same machines and some of the same metals to, to take care of the nuts that they have in that can at that moment. So chemical process is totally different. This is mechanical processing that we're talking about right now. And mechanical processing is little or no processing. Very minimal processing is done in mechanical processing. It's most safer to eat mechanical processing foods. So they do the extrusion with metals and machinery going through and sorting some of the materials out of the food through the extrusion. They also do what they call large mixing. They put in a large, big old container and mix the ingredients food ingredients together. Do a lot of mixing, but they're not doing a lot of adding to the food. They also do grounding, like they grind up the corn and grind up the wheat. They're doing a lot of grounding equipment with mechanical processing of the food. Then you got the chopping. They do some chopping with mechanical processing. They chop up the food to go to different stores, or different warehouses, different places. This is all mechanical processing. And they do what we call emulsifying, when they mix liquids, oils, and waters together in the food, and they change the form of the food to whatever they are sending it out to be packaged for. So this is all mechanical packing of the food, and it's little minimal or no processing in it. And some examples are the vegetables, the way they do the vegetables, the herbs, the oats, the coffee, and foods like that that don't have little or much, like pastas. They do the pastas like that. Little or no processing involved in it. And unprocessed or minimal mechanical. So mechanical process is a safe process of eating. It's okay because it's close to its original form. The eggs, it's close to the original form when they do the mechanical processing. But the danger comes in the chemical processing, which leads you to the ultra processing that I spoke earlier video about. The ultra processing, when the danger comes in. And this is what you got to watch out for, the ultra processing, because the mechanical processing, they don't do hardly nothing after they now packed it and now diced it, ground it, mixed it, emulsified it, chopped it, extrusion taking place. They like freeze it, uh, put it on in the vacuum bags, fermented it, something like that, or refrigerated it. So they got some oils in it, some fats in it, some salts in it, but no added beyond the measure that they should have in it, just to preserve it. So just very little, no salt. You see some nuts. I talk about nuts a lot because I buy a lot of nuts. I love nuts. You see some nuts with unsalted and salted nuts. That's how they let you know how they process. They may put 15% of salt or no salt in it. So an example also is like olives. They do hardly no processing olive. They get the olives and make olive oil out of it. They just go carry it through an extraction part and make the olive oil out of it. It's just how much heat they put on the olive to make the olive oil, as we discussed the oils before. So that is like raw material. They convert raw materials in different forms during the mechanical part of the processing of the food. The next kind of food processing is chemical processing, and that's the one that you got to be more alert to, the chemical processing of the food. Chemical processing involves the ultra processing that I had talked about earlier, the ultra processing, where they're going to add a lot of additives to the food when they processing it. You got a lot of added ingredients, dyes, artificial flavors, more sugar than required, more salt than required, and after they take out some of the substances out of the food, you have no nutritional value, no fiber in the food. They got more sweetness added, added sugars, added colors to it. This is the chemical processing of the food, which is ultra processing. That's where the danger comes in to the processed foods, through the chemical processing. They doing far more than the mechanical processing have done. And there's some examples of the chemical processing is the meats, the sauces, the bologna, the wieners, the fish fingers, the some of the baked goods, the nuggets, the chips, the crackers, the candies, the ready meats already ready. Some of those meats, they in mechanical processing, they just put them in the can with just a little salt. But when it comes to the chemical processing of it, they not added more preservatives and extra preservatives, extra sugars, extra salt than they supposed to the meats. So you got to be leery of it, and they package mostly. And some of them been frozen, and some of them been thawed out, some of them been back frozen again, and that's why they got so many preservatives, so they can keep them longer in there. But the danger comes in with the preservatives because they got more chemicals in there besides the regular salt and that they usually put in to preserve the foods. So that's the chemical processing, which is ultra processing of the food. And some examples, as I say, with the baked goods, the packaged foods, the processed foods, the crackers and cookies, and the ones already ready for you to go and grab, and they seem to have them close by, so you see them, especially by the cash register, or buy something that you buy your milk or somewhere that they know you're going to be going to get your food from, and it looks so appealing to you, and the ultra processing food going to taste better to you, and you're gonna and it's going to be more appealing to you, but it's going to have a lot of calories, and so you can gain a lot of weight and some lasting health problems. It will cause because of the inflammation from all the chemicals that they put in there, mixed in the chemical processing. And we discussed those things can be detrimental problems, autoimmune system problems, heart problems, gut problems, brain problems. So chemical processing is where the trouble comes in when they start to mix the different chemicals. And we love you, and we want you to live a long and healthy life. We'll be coming back with the alternative.